This is King Rex coming at you with another euchre strategy video. This was I seen this in a forum online. This question, and the question was basically going for the euchre with right plus two trump, and this was the cards the guy said he had. Um, he had the jack, queen, and nine of spades plus the ace and queen of clubs, and the dealer had the up card of the ace of spades. The dealer picked up, and the question was what should be led now in first seat. Because he was sitting in the first seat. The near unanimous answer was the ace of clubs, which kind of surprised me. The ace is a short suit that you already have two cards, and so there's only five clubs out there. You have two, so there's only three out in the wild. So the only way the ace of clubs really works is if both opponents have an ace of club, have a club in their hand. There's only three out there. The odds aren't the best, so I imagine this ace would most likely get trumped in round one. One person even oddly suggested that you should play the queen of clubs first, which makes absolutely no sense because then you're just letting the king of clubs take the queen of clubs. So you lead the queen of clubs. The left-hand opponent has the bare king of clubs. If your partner can't trump in, the dealer can just slough off, or if they have a club, they just won that trick for nothing. That to me is the worst lead of the five choices. But then I made a relatively long answer. And I said to lead the jack of spades. Granted, it's kind of hard to put it in an answer just because there's so many variations that can happen after leading the jack that I decided to make this video. The reason why I say lead the jack is that you are likely stripping out all the trump from your left-hand opponent. If the dealer picked up the ace, he has at least one more trump card, maybe two. So if he has three and you have three, if you lead the jack, no one else has any trump after the first round. Now, there could be a situation where the dealer and his partner both have two trump, but since the partner did not order up the ace, if you're playing with highly skilled players, the left-hand opponent likely doesn't have two trump unless they're really low ones, and since you have the queen and nine, you'd almost have to be king 10 to not order that up. If you had the left plus one, he probably would order a trump card up. That'd be generally enough for someone to order on. Originally, you want to lead the jack of spades. It would put you in isolation versus the dealer. Also, the hand of right plus two and ace plus one in the same being two suited. That is a hand that you could reasonably go alone on. Once you take the first trick, what do you lead on second street? Well, here's where you lead your ace of clubs. The left-hand opponent is likely out of trump and can do nothing about it. The same goes for your partner, but you're kind of playing one-on-one versus the dealer on this hand is what you're trying to do. If the dealer has a club, he has to play it, which gives you two tricks right off the top. If he doesn't have a club, he is forced to trump in or let you have it, which he's pretty much going to trump in rather than let you have it. I mean, so you have a good chance of making the queen the boss card with this ace lead because since there's only three clubs out in the wild, the odds would be kind of small that someone has a king doubleton. I mean, the king could even be in the kitty or a singleton in someone's hand would be the most likely options. And even if there is a king doubleton out there, if it's in your partner's hands, that doesn't hurt you either because the partner would have the king to your queen. What to do on third street? If you won on second street, giving you two tricks, you would just lead the queen of clubs. At this point, the dealer would be forced to trump in because unless there's the king doubleton in your left-hand opponent's hand, he has to trump. Which if the left-hand opponent has the king doubleton, you're probably not going to be able to euchre no matter how you play this hand. If the dealer won on the second street, if the dealer leads trump, you have to play trump. Probably doesn't even matter which trump you play at this point because the 10 was almost certainly sucked out with your lead of the right. Someone's going to throw their low one, especially since they'll have a gap there. So it'd still leave you with one trump to play later. And you got to realize, too, though, if you led trump on the first round, you took one from a dealer. If you trumped in on the second round, that's two trump out of him. If he leads a third trump out, you would have one trump left, meaning there's a good chance you have the last trump left on the hand. If dealer leads offsuit, you simply trump in. What to do on 4th Street? Well, if you won on 3rd Street, the most likely way you won on 3rd Street was you won the first trick, the dealer trumped it on the second trick, and then he led offsuit or something. If you won on 3rd Street, basically you're trumping back in. So I would say lead the queen of clubs, the dealer would be forced to trump, only make against the king doubleton again. If the opponent won the second on 2nd Street, or actually on 3rd Street, I have to change that. The dealer leads trump, you have to play trump. You'd still have one left because you had played both clubs back to back. And the dealer leads offsuit. Once again, you would trump in and take that offsuit. Um, what to do on 5th Street? The by 5th Street, you should have secured two tricks. Remember, you had the first trick right off the bat, and hopefully you were able to trump in and take a trick, or you got a trick with your ace. This would leave you with either the last trump card on 5th Street if you led the jack, took one with the ace. If they trumped your queen, then led trump again, then they would be playing whatever they have left, which is probably not a trump card. So you have the queen of clubs as a boss card if you won on 4th Street, or you should have a trump left. You should get the euchre unless the dealer had 4 trump, which you're not euchre no matter what, because that would have been left ace king 10, and when you lead the right out, you're just going to play the 10 and have the top 3 trump, and it's over. Or if one of your opponents had the king doubleton, then they probably are. You're probably not euchre, but they would have to hold that king to the end, and there is a good chance that they wouldn't, because there would be almost no clubs out there, so they might throw the king away anyhow. It should be noted that this actually was a call helper. I ran it as if you were sitting in first seat. It said to call it alone. So this was actually recommended on this call helper, which is a free online one that you should call the thing alone. Now it is dependent on your offsuit here. Having the ace queen doubleton because you're forcing your opponents to trump, which it's a pretty good strategy is to force trump out of your opponents on aces when you have lots of trump. Basically, you're draining their trump, making your trump good. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and have a great day.